Have you ever noticed that every morning you open your eyes before your mind has the chance to fully awaken? The body rises, yet inside you there are still echoes from the day before pulling at your attention. Your mind is like a morning lake, originally calm and clear, but thousands of invisible stones fall into it before you can even see the stillness on the surface. Just one unanswered notification, one unfinished thought, or a faint sense of responsibility is enough to stir the waters within. And then, even before your feet touch the ground, you are pulled into life again, carried by the rhythm of the world instead of the rhythm of your own being. What is strange is that most of us never notice this moment. We forget the inner silence that once helped us see ourselves clearly, understand ourselves deeply, and walk with steady steps. If you simply held 30 seconds of silence upon waking, what would happen? Would your life feel lighter? Would your mind feel clearer? Could it be that the things you have been searching for all this time are actually waiting for you to pause long enough to hear them? In today's video, we will explore 7 simple yet profound practices inspired by the teachings of the Buddha, helping you reclaim the inner stillness you may have lost along the way. When you learn to turn inward, listen to your breath, and stop rushing your mind, you will begin to feel life rearranging itself around you in the most gentle and natural way. 1. Returning to the mind as if returning home. When stepping into a new day, many people believe they are being scattered by the outside world. But the deeper truth is that we are not actually being pulled away. We have simply forgotten the way back to our own mind. The mind is like an old house that was once warm and bright, but has been covered in dust by years of busyness, comparison, pressure, and the constant noise demanding our attention. Every time we chase after someone else's expectations, every time we let worries of the future overshadow the present moment, the dust grows thicker. We stop seeing ourselves clearly. We no longer recognize the true voice calling from within. The Buddha taught that a person who does not know the way back to their own heart will feel lost, even if they travel the entire world. Peace does not lie in the places we arrive, but in our ability to return to ourselves. The first silence we must learn is not the silence of withholding words from the world, but the silence of pausing within our own breath to recognize where we truly are. There is a story about a young monk who constantly ran to his teacher, asking how to stabilize his life. Each time he visited, he described the chaos around him and hoped for a strong, decisive answer. The teacher simply placed a gentle hand on the young monk's chest and said, "Your home is here, but you spend most of your time standing outside the door." That sentence was not a scolding. It was a reminder that every journey inward begins with the moment we realize just how far we have drifted from ourselves. To return, start with 5 conscious breaths before you touch your phone or step into the whirlwind of work and responsibility. In those 5 breaths, ask yourself a very small question, one that is simple but powerful enough to shape an entire day. What am I living for today? When this question is asked from a place of stillness, your mind becomes like an old door being opened again. Light begins to pour in, and you remember that your home was never lost. It has only been waiting for you to come back. 2. Silence helps you see what noise tries to hide. When we forget the way back to the mind, the first thing that takes over our inner space is noise. The noise of rushing, the noise of expectations, the noise of unfinished thoughts waiting for us to resolve them. It makes us believe that everything is urgent, that we must react immediately, that if we do not do something right now, life will slip out of our hands. Yet in reality, most of what stresses us is not urgent at all. The mind is simply shaken to the point where we can no longer discern what truly matters. Silence here does not mean the absence of sound. Silence is the state in which you are no longer dragged away from your own being. When we pause, when we stop chasing after the noise, something very special happens. We begin to see the truth that nearly 80% of our worries do not belong to us. They are merely echoes from others, from society, or from unconscious habits we have allowed to linger for too long. The human mind is like the water level of the tide. When noise rises, the water seems to swell, and we believe the ocean is raging. But when the wind settles, the surface of the sea is actually very calm. Waves are not the nature of the ocean. They are only temporary responses. In the same way, the nature of the mind is peace, yet noise makes us believe we are trapped in endless storms. There was once a monk who received a letter filled with insults. He did not read it. He simply folded it, placed it beneath a stone, and said that if he never opened it, the words inside would never reach him. This was not avoidance, but a mindful choice. Silence here is the wisdom that knows what is not worthy of entering the heart. To practice this, you can begin with the 3-second rule before reacting. Simply pause, take a soft breath, and ask yourself whether this noise is truly your problem. Many times, the answer will lighten you immediately, and many times, you will realize that peace has never left you. You only needed enough silence to finally see it. 3. Stepping away from automatic reactions. When you begin to see that noise is not always the truth, you will discover another layer within yourself. It is the tendency to react too quickly, so quickly that you do not have time to ask whether the reaction truly belongs to you or is simply an old habit repeating itself. You are not lacking peace. Peace is still there, but your reactions are moving faster than that peace. This is why you often mistake your exhaustion for life being overwhelming, when in reality, what drains you most is not giving yourself the time to pause. The Buddha taught that the space between stimulus and reaction is where wisdom lives. It is a small moment, yet it has the power to change the course of an entire day. Without that pause, we live through our reactions. With one conscious breath, we live through awareness. Your mind is like a wind chime. When it hangs freely, even the gentlest breeze can make it tremble. A careless comment, an unfriendly glance, or an unexpected notification is enough to stir your inner world. But if you gently tie the chime, if you protect it with mindfulness, even strong winds cannot so easily make it ring. The chime remains a chime, yet it is no longer controlled by every passing gust. Remember the image of a mother who unintentionally says, "You make me sad." That sentence does not arise from wisdom, but from an unconscious reaction. If she paused for 2 breaths, if she allowed that small space to settle between emotion and speech, she would see she does not need to hurt anyone to express her feelings. Her words would soften, and connection would return. To practice this, try the 1 pause exercise. Inhale for 2 seconds, hold for 1, then allow your mind to respond from clarity rather than habit. You can also write down 3 signs that show you are about to react too quickly. When those signs appear, pause. Just 1 deeper breath is enough for you to step out of the old pattern and choose a response that aligns with who you truly are. 4. The power of quiet living. You will begin to see a deeper layer of understanding within silence. Silence is not just the absence of speech. Silence is the way you prevent your energy from leaking through unnecessary words. Every word you speak is a portion of energy you spend. And when you let yourself talk too much about things that do not matter, you are quietly wearing down your own mind without realizing it. The stronger a person is from within, the less they feel the need to explain or prove themselves, because they understand that true strength does not lie in words, but in the state of the mind. Imagine a real burning torch. It does not need to shake or make a sound to prove that it carries fire. Its light alone affirms its presence. Humans are the same. A mind with inner strength does not need to talk much to be recognized. Its peace is already the clearest declaration of who it is. There was an old man in a village who was often judged as unfriendly because he rarely spoke. What people did not know was that every morning he spent 20 minutes sitting in stillness just to remind himself not to harm anyone with his words throughout the day. For him, silence was not distance, but an act of kindness. He knew that even a careless sentence could weigh on someone's heart, so he chose silence as an expression of compassion, not coldness. You can learn from this by choosing one thing you will stop speaking about for the next 7 days. It might be stopping complaints, stopping the retelling of other stories, or stopping the need to explain yourself so much. When you say one fewer sentence, you will feel yourself keeping more energy to live honestly with your own being. Quiet living does not make you small. On the contrary, it brings you back to the original strength within you, where peace does not need to be proven, only preserved. 5. Mental discipline as the inner pillar of meditation. You will discover an important truth that the mind cannot stand steadily without an inner anchor. That anchor is discipline. But the discipline the Buddha spoke of is not the harsh effort of forcing yourself to be perfect. True discipline is the ability to recognize what helps you live aligned with your own nature and to continue holding on to that each day. Discipline is keeping your promise to your own mind. It is a gentle yet steady gesture that protects your inner values from being shaken by the outside world. Each time you follow through with a small habit, even for just a few minutes, you send a quiet message to yourself that I am worthy of trust. I am worthy of care from the best version of me. Self-respect does not appear in grand achievements, but in the small moments when you honor what you have promised yourself. Just one consistent action a day is enough to make the mind stronger, clearer, and less easily swayed by external change. The human mind is like a candle in a cave. It does not need wind. Even a slight touch can extinguish it if it is not protected carefully. Discipline is the glass cover surrounding the flame. It does not suffocate the fire. It helps the fire burn correctly, burn longer, and shine steadily. A mind without discipline flickers on and off depending on circumstances. A disciplined mind knows how to protect its flame of peace even as the world shifts around it. To cultivate discipline in the spirit of the Buddha's teachings, you do not need to begin with anything big. Choose one small habit and keep it for 2 weeks as a gentle commitment. It might be 3 minutes of morning meditation, 10 deep breaths before beginning your work, or a single line in your journal that brings you back to yourself. When you do this consistently, you are not only practicing a habit, you are strengthening the flame within. Each day, before you begin anything at all, ask your mind one simple question. What am I nourishing within myself today? This question will remind you that discipline is not meant to control life, but to help you live wholeheartedly with who you truly are. 6. Releasing the need for approval so life can realign itself. When you nurture mental discipline and keep your inner flame steady, you will begin to see another root of your uneasiness appear. It is not the fear of failing, as you once believed, but the fear of others seeing you fail. We are often not afraid of falling. We are afraid of the judgment in someone's eyes. We are not afraid of being wrong. We are afraid of being seen as wrong. It is the need for approval that makes us lose the greatest freedom we have. A simple action suddenly becomes heavy because we perform it under the pressure of someone else's expectations. The Buddha taught that one who shines from within cannot be overshadowed by darkness. Inner light does not need permission to exist. When you understand yourself, when you live in alignment with your own heart, you no longer need applause or praise to feel worthy. You become free because you are no longer bound by the evaluations of the world. Your value does not come from the words of others, but from the sense of peace you feel in each action you take. Think of a river. A river never urges anyone to acknowledge the direction of its flow. It simply moves gently yet unwaveringly, and its movement nourishes the land on both sides. It does not seek compliments, nor does it need anyone to witness its quiet work. It simply does what it must do, and it is this very nature that makes the river strong. There was an artisan who spent an entire year creating a single bowl. No one bought it, no one praised it, yet anyone who touched the bowl could feel the peace emanating from the hands of its maker. Results cannot be measured by speed, nor by how many people see them. Only devotion is the true measure of creation. Try writing down one thing you will do without anyone knowing. Something you do solely to nourish your own heart. And remember the simple rule, do it well, Do not show it. Do not wait for praise. When you release the need for approval, you will see life beginning to arrange itself again, more gently, more openly, just like a river being returned to the natural direction of its flow. 7. Small habits, great transformation. When you release the need for approval and begin living from the freedom within, you will start to realize that the deepest changes in your life do not come from big revolutions, but from the small anchors you repeat each day. Many people believe that in order to change their life, they must do something dramatic. But the mind does not need grand actions. The mind needs consistency. Even a 1-minute action can shift the direction of an entire day, just like the lightest touch can redirect a compass toward a better path. Small habits are powerful because they create no pressure. They slip into your life without exhausting you. Yet day after day, they quietly lay the foundation for lasting transformation. Like a single drop of water falling in the same place again and again. That drop may be weak, but when it falls steadily over time, it carves through stone. Not because of force, but because of persistence. The human mind is the same. It does not need great effort. It needs repetition in the right direction. In the Buddha's teachings, diligence is not measured by speed or intensity, but by the ability to sustain mindfulness moment by moment in daily life. You do not need to change your entire life in one day. You only need to change one moment and then repeat it. One moment of awareness that becomes the foundation for the next. You can begin with the 1-minute seed. Spend just 1 minute each night reviewing your day. 1 minute to ask yourself how you reacted, how your mind moved, what made you feel light, and what made you feel heavy. That single minute will gradually become a mirror, helping you understand yourself more deeply. Or you can choose a morning ritual that takes only 30 seconds. Sit upright in silence. Place one hand over your heart to remind yourself to live from the gentlest place within you. Take a slow, deep breath to call your mind home. Those 30 seconds may seem small, but they shape your entire morning. And from that, shape your entire life. These small habits will not transform you in a day or two, but they will transform your trajectory. And when the direction is right, the path will naturally become bright. As you walk through each small step back toward your own mind, you will come to realize a simple yet profound truth that you cannot arrange everything outside of you according to your wishes. Life has its own current. People have their own thoughts. Situations come and go like shifting winds. But when the inside of you is clear, peaceful, and grounded, the outside world naturally adjusts itself to align with the rhythm of your inner life. You no longer need to control, push, or pull anything. You only need to stand steady within yourself and allow everything to fall gently into its rightful place. The silence you have practiced in the previous parts is not an escape from the world. It is the bridge that leads you back to yourself. Turning your focus inward is not selfish. It is the foundation of wisdom, the way you cleanse your vision so you can see life with greater ease. When you know how to pause, how to listen, and how to choose what truly nourishes you, you will see the world reflect that clarity back to you. Remember that a person who knows how to keep silent at the right moment will hear answers that those who are noisy will never hear in their entire lives. If these words have touched something within you, write a simple sentence to mark the beginning of a new journey. Today, I return to myself.